What's up, guys? BARRYGAMING here, back with some more Eternal Evolution, and today we're going to be talking about the newest tier list that has been updated, and I want to give you guys some of my own feedback and a little changes and tweaks that I will make. This again is a PvE hero tier list. I would highly suggest you focus on PvE in this game. PvP is very pay to win, whereas PvE, you can make tons of awesome progress. Now, one thing you'll notice immediately by looking at this tier list, assassins are where it's at and energy heroes are where it's at right now. The overall tier power level, SSS, is just like you use them in so many game modes. They're so valuable. And yeah, we're going to talk about a few things specifically. So let's jump in, zoom in on the SSS tier right now. There's really no SSS tier vanguards or tanks right now. The only exception is maybe putting Pandemonium up into the top layer, because if you're building a tank team, he's pretty necessity. He's like a necessity. The other thing is Teresh in SSS or SS tier. I would, again, he's almost like a support hero, being able to throw a hero like Nord to the back row of the enemy lineup. They're both very good, but they don't quite qualify because they're not good in every game mode like others in SSS tier are. Vanguard heroes, there's very limited uses for them in PvE, besides specific game modes designed just to work around the rage system. If you're not working around the rage system, they kind of fall off, which is why they don't really go up the top. And then you have the holy trinity of energy heroes, Nord, Jaina, and Corellios. I think I made a video a little while back talking about the advantages of each one of them and building order. If you're on a newer account, Nord seems to be still one of the strongest ones out of the three as a solo energy hero, just because you can equip him with things like the Commander Hadragon. You can put a Marauder set on him. He has ways to shield himself, heal himself. He's a one-man army, whereas Jaina really shines in certain game modes where you can just blast the enemy team all over the place with her over and over active skills. She just does so well doing that, and Corellios is like a nice kind of middle ground between both heroes. Having all three of them on a team means your energy team is going to stomp, and Nord works as a pretty good frontline hero for that type of team. Next up, we have the best heroes in the game currently, and that is the assassin heroes. My goodness, Dominic, Caraxia. Now, Caraxia is an SP hero, so if we're talking about free to play, don't even consider Caraxia even as like a single copy. Not the best hero, but Dominic is undeniably, in my opinion, the best hero in the game. Even if you don't have any other assassins on the lineup, having Dominic on your team using tons of his ultimate ability, it's so much damage. Now, Samel's really awesome with his revive ability. If you do have Caraxia, they work great together. And then Motoko, of course, is from the last collaboration. Really strong, has some AoE ultimate abilities, stuff like that. If you did miss out on Motoko, though, it was only a collaboration hero. You can't get her now. In exchange, you can get Asuka from the newest collaboration. I would rank her right up here with the other assassins. Very strong, little goofy looking in game, but very strong. So if you don't get Motoko, you can grab her. This is how I push like almost all the way through the chapters. Granted, energy heroes are really good. Assassin heroes are just the highest damage possibilities on bosses in the game and really good. As far as Hunter go, there aren't really any SSS heroes besides the SP hero Artemis. It stands for itself, just one of the strongest heroes in the game, but not really obtainable by the average player, so we're not going to go over it very much. And summoners, so there is one summoner that gets the SSS ranking, and that is the new awakened version of Daniel. So we just had a video earlier today talking about how to awaken specific heroes. Only Daniel's possible right now, but his awakened version, if you do get him powered up, is very strong. And the advantage of him is he doesn't need to be paired with other summon heroes to really get the best bang for your buck. He's just a really good hero. As far as support heroes go, I need to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see all these over here. If we put these on the list over here, we have Purin, which again was one of the previous Ghost in the Shell collaboration heroes, probably the best support hero in the game, feeding energy to your entire team. If you can't get your hands on her, Fiona is amazing, especially synergizing with your assassin heroes. Rez is amazing to have Rez always targeting your Dominic, just feeding tons of energy, getting tons of abilities off. Really strong. Now, when you jump down to the next tier down, this is the SS tier that you'll see down the bottom. Pandemonium, Teresh, we kind of talked about them already. Claire, again, Ares, and Barrag. There are three heroes that are very strong in Vanguard. I would honestly put Bato up in the SS tier as well, because I have him fully maxed out, and he actually does more damage than any of these other 3 Vanguards altogether. Granted, they have some more usefulness in like PvP, but if we're talking purely PvE, I really love Bato. He's very, very strong. I would rank him up here. Really no energy heroes to talk about in this tier. Assassins, there's just Rickert left over, kind of. So he used to be really strong. He's definitely fallen off very hard. But he is very useful because he has immunity, he has ways to heal, really good stuff. And then of course you have the hunters. Pretty much any other hunter in the game that you see is going to fall in this category, as far as Rebecca, Arcadia, Viserys, and of course the newest hero. Oh, hold on, what was the newest hero's name? I forget her actual name now. The newest one, it's not Shinji, it's like Mira or something like that. She's really, really strong as well in the same category. And of course, summoners, you have pretty much everybody else. Sif, Anpu, Durali, they all synergize well with Surveilli. This is like the it's not like the Holy Trinity, it's the Holy Five. I don't even know what to call it, but you usually build all 5 of them on a team together. Surveilli is more or less your support hero, healing your entire team, while Durali tanks with Sif, and Anpu does AoE damage. Daniel does AoE and single target. It's a really lethal combo. And then we get over to the support category. Masrani and Miranda are down there as well. Once you drop down the next tier, this is where heroes' values really start dropping off. They go way down. Wamingun and of course Taki from the previous Ghost in a Shell, they're decent. They're still really good heroes. They're just not as useful and don't have as much unique abilities. Wamingun is really good for like grouping enemies together, especially once he transforms into a dragon. He can just tail sweep the entire battlefield to the same spot, and that's why he's S tier. Leo is still a really good frontline hero for free-to-play players. He has his first death basically immune, and then he gets to do a big AoE to heal. It's really strong. Honestly, I would put Ravenia and Luke below S tier. I think they are very outdated heroes. They don't do anywhere near enough damage to be considered S tier, in my opinion. They belong down in much lower tiers on this list, in my opinion. Same with Bailey. I don't think Bailey is good at all, honestly. You'll notice there's Helen down here. She's specifically, the reason why she has the gold border is because she is a PvP Hell Arena only hero. She was the first of its kind, still only of its kind. I think she's still better than Bailey in the normal PvE scenario. Bailey's really not good whatsoever. Again, he used to be one of the best heroes in the game when it launched. Very paling in comparison nowadays. Moving over here, there's really only Emma that I would put. Emma and Botmark and Taylor I would put in a higher tier than the other 3 SSS heroes. I would probably bump all of them down to A tier as well. With Old John, just not very useful. Botmark and Taylor, though, are 2 of the best non-SSS heroes in the game. So if you need early game damage dealers and you can't get SSS heroes on your side, Botmark 2 and Taylor, those are your 2 go-to heroes in the early game. No summoners really per se, because they really fall off. Even Scooter and Hattie get no love. And then over here, the one that I would say as support, I think Serena potentially deserves to be up a category, especially in PvE. Again, along with Botmark and Taylor, one of the best non-SSS heroes you will ever see in the game. She's really good. Some of the other ones are okay for like grouping people, kind of healing. And then you'll notice everybody else down this list is just kind of not that great, not that useful. These are not heroes you should strive to build. You shouldn't strive to build anybody in this lowest tier. I'll show you guys. This is the A tier essentially down here. A tier and lower, you should really avoid trying to build these heroes. If you are an early game player, again, Taylor and Botmark 2 are 2 of the best heroes you could build. If you do need some summoners, that's okay. Liren can be okay as a secondary healer to Serena, but again, you really want to focus on the higher tier heroes, getting them and kind of just unlocking more progress. So you see a lot of these tanks are just not great. The only one that I can say with an exception is Oak is a really nice early game tank because he has that immunity when he dies, similar to Leo, who's the Vanguard. However, he doesn't really have a way to heal, so he's not really that great. So let me know what you guys think. There's also a little grouping down the bottom here called fodder. If you guys need to know what heroes to throw away. These are the heroes that are complete fodder. You don't have to worry about saving them. And that is essentially this current month's tier list. Mainly this grouping over here is the most important ones to know right here. The top grouping is just super important to know. The best of the best. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you have any comments or anything you would change to this tier list like I mentioned as well, leave in a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.